Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the SSE Arena here in Belfast. Tonight, two young Irish fighters in their prime lock horns to determine who will graduate from prospect to contender. Both men are undefeated, and both have been on a brutal and bloody collision course. For most people in the world, this is simply a great fight with world title ramifications. But for the Emerald Island, this is much more than a fight. This is a point of pride.
This is a matchup that's going to see one of these two fight for the IBF Championship of the world.
Am I going to lose against Paddy Donovan? Absolutely not.
What has Lewis Crocker done? Who has he fought? Absolutely nobody on my level.
I've got under his skin already.
Lewis Crocker, I'm going to give you the height of your life. I'm going to separate the men from the boys. And I'm going to show you what a real Irish fighter is.
He's nervous. I'm too big, too strong. No one is going to stop me from getting where I want to go. I'm the puncher.
I'm the boxer. Too slick, too skillful, too good. I win this fight by knockout.
Belfast.
Limerick.
This isn't just a fight for me.
This is a point of pride.
Belfast, this is the moment of truth, and there's no turning back. Now entering the arena from Limerick, Ireland, the undefeated Paddy, the real deal Donovan.
Well, we saw Lewis Crocker there getting ready to make his appearance into the arena, but first up is Paddy Donovan, and he'll be expecting the hostility, having got a foretaste of it at the press conferences in the build-up here to this week. And we heard Tony Bellew agonising over a pick. Many are feeling the same kind of hesitation. We often throw away the line 50-50 fight. This genuinely, according to the bookmakers, is 50-50. The odds against the draw are relatively skinny, and that is a huge indication as to just how hard it is to split these two. Well, look at that smile, almost a smirk on the face of Paddy Donovan. We saw the trailer a short time ago for Chris Eubank Jr. against Conor Benn, and how Chris Eubank Sr. used to soak up the hostility and use it as fuel. And the boos are now cascading around this arena. But on the face of it, at least, Paddy Donovan, completely undeterred, completely unaffected on this, the biggest night of his career so far.
And now entering the arena, please welcome the undefeated young man from Belfast, Northern Ireland, Lewis the Crocker.
This is Carl Frampton type atmosphere here in this famous arena, in this famous fighting city. And Crocker determined to soak it all up. And like everyone who's the focus of a cauldron like tonight, he's got to keep his head. keep his game together, because so much hangs on this here tonight. Yes, it's a point of pride, but there is a World Championship chance at stake for the winner here in Belfast tonight. A narrow favourite with some, a narrow underdog with others. It's desperately close. You can tell by canvassing pundits all around the sport. Opinions differ. Crocker maybe has faced a better opposition through his career, but tonight both of them facing the best that they've been up against so far. And Crocker, having fought 14 times in this city, has never heard anything like this before. It's everything we expected. The stage is set here in Belfast. We're almost there.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the sold-out SSE Arena here in the fighting city of Belfast. We are live on the zone for the featured bout of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing scheduled for the final eliminator for the IBF welterweight championship of the world. It's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing in association with Conlon Sport. We're sponsored tonight by Betfred, Everlast, Riyadh Season, That Prize Guide, Tom, Victory Live, and Drip. This bout is sanctioned under the auspices of the British Boxing Board of Control. The steward in charge is John Williamson, MBE, and the International Boxing Federation. The president is Mr. Daryl J. Peoples. The supervisor is Dr. Massimiliano Bianco. Introducing your three judges scoring this contest from ringside. From Luxembourg, Nerman Adrovich. From England, Howard Foster. And from Italy, Matteo Montella. And at the sound of the belt, your third man in the ring, A-star referee, Mr. Marcus McDonald. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the stage is set, and we are here! This is it! The time has come! I said the time has come! From the four corners of the world, and the four corners of this ring right here in Belfast, the fight starts now! Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, he wears purple and black. He's scaled 10 stone, 6 pounds, 7 ounces. His professional record, absolutely perfect. 20 fights, 20 victories, with 11 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the reigning and undefeated WBA International Champion, proudly fighting out of his home of Belfast, Northern Ireland, Lewis the Crocker! And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner. He wears gold with red and blue trim. He's scaled already 10 stone, 6 pounds, 1 ounce. His professional record also perfect. 14 fights, 14 victories, 11 of them coming by way of knockout. here is the reigning and undefeated WBA Continental welterweight champion, fighting out of Limerick, Ireland. Here is the real deal, Paddy Donovan.
Lewis, I spoke to you both in the dressing room. Not I expect. Act like professionals all the time. Obey my instructions. Watching. Any questions? Let's go to work.
Well, Carl Frampton's wife is sat just behind us here at ringside, and this noise, this atmosphere, this cauldron is reviving memories of Carl's greatest nights here. Belfast once again is erupting ahead of this eagerly awaited welterweight clash with a world championship chance at stake. We're underway. Both boxers, both trainers predicting a knockout. Which way will it go? According to all the promises, it simply has to be explosive. Crocker driving onto the front foot in the early exchanges. Donovan almost voluntarily going back onto the ropes.
Yeah, I'm expecting a fast start here, certainly from Crocker, but I think it'll be long until we start seeing the quick hands of Donovan, already moving nicely to send him back to the middle of the ring. But this atmosphere is incredible, unrivaled.
Yeah, I think Dan is right. It's very important for Crocker just to make an impression here on Donovan. Maybe question is just his bit of his confidence. If Donovan gets into a groove, it's going to be very difficult for Crocker to knock him out of that.
And you know, Paddy Donovan's a very sharp shooter, but I think Crocker's come here and he wants Donovan to have no rest. I think he wants him to go up. Good shot, landed inside the pocket there for Donovan. But you can tell that Crocker's really trying to get Donovan's engine up straight out of the blocks at this first
That
fight.
already looks a very dangerous shot for Donovan, that looping bolo with the left hand.
And Crocker almost bending over, he's tucking up, but he's leaving a gap straight through the middle. And these 8-ounce gloves, these 10-ounce gloves, they're going to hurt.
Donovan oozing confidence in all these set-piece events in the build-up to this fight. Been in camp with Joseph Parker, who scored that win last week against Martin Bacoli. Against Bacoli's trainer, Billy Nelson, who's in the opposite corner here tonight.
So tight the defence there, Crocker not giving Donovan any sort of target to hit clean. So Donovan got to start pivoting around the target here, trying to get a different angle of attack.
And Crocker just finding some nice arm punches there through the gap of Donovan's defence. I think he's staying a bit close here. I think Crocker's doing a good job at making Donovan not want to open up the ring and not use his footwork advantages.
Yeah, and this will be in the plan of Crocker, wouldn't it? You know, he may know that he may lose some of the early rounds, but it's about putting a dent physically into Donovan. It's down to the Limerick man then to be smart, as you say, Sonny, be disciplined. Look for the shots, try and take the space away from Crocker, fire back with the quick counters.
But that turn from Donovan, that's what he needs to do, that pivot at the front foot. Keep turning in all the time.
Nice uppercut, and you can see Crocker's not really trying to land with any big power here. He's just trying to find the target, and he's looking at different shots, different looks. But he's not loaded up with anything yet.
And just listen to this atmosphere, with very little in terms of significant punches landed in the opening round. Still, the crowd going ballistic.
I think that was a good finish to the round for Crocker there, some really nice work.
Manchester, April the 5th.
Corners, 10 seconds.
Is what they're saying on the posters. Dillian White against Joe Joyce. Saturday,
round
April
2.
the 5th. here in this cauldron in Belfast. We move into the second round. Paddy Donovan just raising his glove at the end of the first round.
And I don't know if I completely agree with him there. I thought Crocker did a good job at avoiding a lot of the work from Donovan. There was that good uppercut that landed, but I did favour the work of the Belfast man's first round.
I think he's got to be careful here, Donovan. He's sort of pushing Crocker off. You know you're in range when you're doing that. For Crocker, he'll feel that glove and just needs to fire back with the left hook with the right hand. So he needs to be a bit more smart with pushing Crocker off and rather him commit to the shot as opposed to just pushing it out there.
Yeah, spot on it, Dan. When he throws that looping shot, he throws it down, doesn't he? Chops down with that left hook as well, Crocker. That's better moving there from Donovan. That's the idea. Again, it's always what you do after the punch against someone like Crocker, because he's on you all the time. Punch, pivot, punch. I think that's Donovan's tactics, has to be.
Yeah, needs to start doubling up with attacks. Crocker, that's nice too. Left uppercuts followed by the right uppercuts. Good work.
And some hooks in response from Donovan.
He takes a lovely step to his right, Donovan. I'd like to see him throw the left hand off of that.
Lovely shot.
And then back comes Crocker. Some nice work inside, taking his head off the centre. But still, no real power, no real load up coming from either man.
Nice right hand to the body there from Donovan, whose intention in these early stages will be along the lines of quietening the crowd here.
And even though there's no massive rush, that's so devil from Crocker. But every punch Crocker throws is jarring, isn't it? Even if it's not heavy.
And you can see how now he's dipping his shoulders. When he throws the left hook like he just did, he's taking his head off the centre and coming at kind of an unorthodox angle when he's coming in. And you can see that Crocker's trying to throw that, take his head off the centre and a big left hook to hurt Donovan.
I think they've both been really well at disguising the heavy shots. They're not loaded up with everything. I think they both vary in the pattern of the shots. Good uppercuts again though from Crocker.
And that's not the first time he's landed that shot.
And now Donovan really trying to manipulate the guard of Crocker. He's trying to push his hands out of the way and find a shot through the middle. But I'm not sure if that's just leaving him there in front of the target a bit too long. They're the shots he's looking for.
Yeah, he needs to be careful leaning back, doesn't he, Donovan? Yeah, another good round. Lovely work with the uppercuts from Crocker. I gave him that second round.
Quarters, 10
the work
seconds.
inside was really, really good. Like I said, in that second round, I don't like the using of the lead hand to push off Crocker. He needs to be careful, and there was a couple of signs there at the end of that where you see the big looping overhand rights from Crocker.
And with that in mind, Darren, Andy Lee in the corner just warning Donovan about pulling away with his chin in the air, wants him to roll away, more closely guarded.
And there was definitely some warning signs there from Crocker, those hooks getting a little bit closer.
I think Donovan should stay low continuously, because even punching straight, he can punch at that upward angle. That would open up that defence there of Crocker. With that shell-like defence there, the square punches, he's going to block them. But if you just come low and punch upwards, it'll open that guy right up for him.
And he does that, doesn't he? When he moves to his right, look, as he does there, he dips, he stays low, and it is difficult for Crocker to find the target.
That was a better shot from Donovan.
The left hook there from Crocker, and in response, straight leg back there from Donovan.
Some blood in the right eye coming from Crocker there, looks like. The head's coming together a little bit now.
That could be rubbing from the inside of the glove there as well.
And I think it's going to make it much harder. I think he's done a good job so far, avoiding a lot of those uppercuts through the middle, Crocker. But it's going to make it a lot harder with that sea of blood coming out of his eye.
Shot to the body, and then a left hand to the head from Crocker draws a roar from the crowd. Every success of Crocker greeted with a rhapsody from this crowd. But Donovan, to this stage, more than holding his own. Halfway stage of the fight. Just the sense that's beginning to really come to life.
I knew Donovan couldn't run. If he started to get on his toes too much, then Crocker would have run him down, but he's held his feet more than I thought he would have.
Nice right hand as well from Crocker there. And Donovan looked to reset his feet on the pirouette.
Yeah, the movement, like I say, to the right-hand side of Donovan's really, really good. I like to see Crocker, who has lots of blood streaming down the face out, just gamble with that left hook a little bit more. Look, he's walking onto the shot all the time, Donovan.
Good call.
That cut on the right there looks like on the inside of the eye as well, so that's going to make it potentially worse. It goes in, seeps inside the eye.
And how important in these early rounds now then with that cut. I didn't see if they said that it was done by clash of heads, but you can only imagine so. A cut of that magnitude.
And that blood is beginning to flow freely now in the last half a minute, and we're only into round 3.
I like to see both men work the uppercuts after the body shots.
Yes.
They're working well, aren't they, around the elbows. They're getting the reaction. That's where you slide the uppercuts through.
Good shots from Crocker there.
Building shots from Crocker. Look at response over Donovan.
Tremendous response from Donovan.
Good work with the lead hand there from Crocker, but straight comes back Donovan. I think that's the pattern right now that we are really seeing in this fight. I don't know if the cut's going to cause any more problems going forward, but the head's coming together an awful lot in those first few rounds. I think Donovan's definitely finding some good work. I think Crocker may be a bit heavier, but that cut is definitely going to have to be looked at.
Corner, 10 seconds. And that cut, according to Marcus McDonald there in the centre of the ring,
round 4,
was caused by a punch.
Wow.
That's the ruling of the referee, Marcus McDonald, who's been around motioning not only to the 3 judges, but to both corners as well. The damage on the right side of the face, around the right eye of Lewis Crocker, caused by a punch.
And that ruling really changes things for Crocker, because if this fight does get stopped on the cut, then it will be a punch that caused it, and he won't be the victorious man, and he won't even be down to the scorecard.
And also, they just might change the game plan. Maybe just rush your work a little bit more than he wanted to, potentially.
Yeah, look, Donovan just got warned about use of the head there. I think maybe Crocker's coming in with his head, if I'm honest. He's leaning right over that front foot.
Yeah,
see again there.
He's there first, isn't he?
Oh, but you know, you've got to warn Donovan for use of the head. I think you've got to look at Crocker as well.
I really do think it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. I think they're both resetting constantly and bringing their heads over their front foot to be close together.
Oh, good shot there.
Look again with the head from Donovan there. It almost was a jab. I think that's fair, because that was living there.
And that, says Marcus McDonald, is the last warning for Paddy Donovan. So in danger of having a point deducted if he continues to transgress with the use of the head. Tremendous right hook from Donovan. Cleanest shot of the fight so far, halfway stage of round 4.
See, I think it helps Donovan because I think maintaining that distance as he did a few seconds ago gives him a chance to get his shots off better. I mean, he's getting too close to the target at times.
Oh. I think he can double up on the other side. Yeah, there's a swelling under the left eye of Crocker.
And these cuts could end up being a really, really big factor in this fight.
Crocker smiling and just thinking, just let me get close so I can throw that right hand.
Again, Crocker just glancing at the referee. Use of the head again from Donovan on the inside.
And also a beautiful uppercut there from Donovan with the left hand.
And he's really found a home for the left hand. I think he can double up with the shot.
Almost going completely square on Crocker to find the target there and find the inside range. That's good job from Crocker, that's what he needs.
He's just met Donovan moving to the right.
And I think Crocker's got a big deal of confidence in his engine when it goes up through the gears against Donovan. I think the plan is to get him working hard from early, and then when he starts slowing, really start setting about him. That's what it looks like to me.
Well, there's blood on the cheekbone now. Left cheekbone of Crocker. It looks like there's blood coming from the left ear as well, unless that's smeared there from a glove. Let's get the verdict then for the first time in this contest from our panel here at ringside.
Okay, what an atmosphere here ringside. Conor Walker, 4 rounds. How are you seeing it so far?
I'm going to go with Paddy. He's just taking the lead for me. He's found his rhythm and he's pushing Crocker's face up there. Yeah, I think he's found the rhythm from the off, and I think Crocker can't land.
Josh Padley, you've had a smile on your face since you got here tonight. How are you seeing it through 4 rounds?
Yeah, I've got Paddy up 3 rounds, obviously Crocker 1 round. I think he's just doing the smarter, tidier work in there.
Finally to you, the run for ball. You know a thing or two about a good atmosphere. This is special. How have you got him?
Great atmosphere. I've got a Paddy 2 or 3 up as well, and I think that last round was quite a decisive round.
Corners, 10 seconds.
He's really got to put it back in this next one, change the momentum a bit.
Okay, here we go. 4 down, 8 to go.
Second take, round 5.
And once again, while we were away with the panel, Marcus McDonald motioning to the 3 judges that damage now between or beneath the left eye of Lewis Crocker was also caused by a punch.
And it almost seems crazy that Donovan's already by the 5th round on his last warning with a clash of heads. There's 2 cuts on his opponents and both of them are by punching.
This is where Crocker now needs to start moving his head, swaying, pendulum side to side, trying to give Crocker Donovan a different look.
Yeah, I really feel that left hook's there, where he's moving to his right every single time, Donovan, and he moves lovely to that right-hand side. You just need to throw that left hook. It doesn't always have to be to the head. You can throw it to the arm, to the body, but land with that left.
And there was just a clipping left hook from Crocker before that exchange. Just a sign that maybe there is that opening.
And I think anyone that's watched any of Crocker's fights before this know that he's not letting these punches go with full velocity and full power. Right now, it's still through the 5th round. He's touching the target, he's finding his range. But I'm not sure if he's just getting outworked here, outclassed a little bit at sometimes in these exchanges.
And that's the left hook that Darren was talking about. But again, Donovan, absolutely unruffled and comes straight back.
Took it very well.
See, there's a distance here for the Donovan. When he's a little like another half a step back, he's controlling it. When it gets close, even if he's ever success, it gives Crocker an opportunity to land that left hook and throw those 3 shots down the line.
Nice jab as well, lands there. But Donovan doing a good job at making sure he's not getting just walked back. Oh! Shot there from Crocker.
And that after a right hand to the body from Donovan, then a right hand to the body from Crocker. Now this is starting to really stoke up the kind of fight that we were expecting, the kind of fight we were hoping for.
He's starting to loop and punch down with that left hook, Crocker.
I think that left eye is affecting Crocker.
And the head still coming in, and then the punches to follow.
That was a stunning left uppercut from Donovan.
Just flicking the shots again. He just forced him to come out of his shell here. Donovan.
Crocker walks Donovan onto a heavy jab, but then Donovan holds his feet and lets a nice punch go back.
Lovely hand speed there from Donovan.
What a brilliant fight. Fantastic.
Seriously, already living up to the billing. The anticipation for this fight. I've been excited for a long time to come and work this fight.
Closing seconds of the round. Still Crocker again going looking for that left hand and made to miss. A sharp contempt from Paddy Donovan. Well, they've seen so many tremendous fighters in these parts, and we're watching two building through, hoping for a World Championship contest after this here tonight.
Yeah, he landed some really good left hooks early in the round, did Crocker. But I think throughout the majority of that round, certainly the last couple of minutes, it was really good boxing from Donovan, picking the shots well, good variation. Landing some two nice straight left hands.
Corners, 10 seconds.
A little bit of class as well. Made him miss, showed everyone, and then landed a nice body shot and controlled the end of the round there.
Second sight, round 6.
Well, we saw in those slow motion replays the desire, the determination of both of these. There is so much at stake here tonight, and it's much more than a shot at the IBF welterweight title. They want to be remembered as the night that they won this particular contest that's been so eagerly awaited for so long across the whole island of Ireland.
What is quite telling is those last two rounds were the easiest to score, and they were both for Donovan. And is he getting in his groove now? Now Crocker's still there, but he's just being on hustle a little bit of times, and certainly the classier shots are coming from Donovan. Crocker's got to move his head now.
Yeah, I think he needs a bit more variation in defence. Like you say, he's got nice high guard, but he's starting to read this now. He's starting to pick the shots better, Paddy Donovan. I also like to see that jab, that left hook that I've been calling for, come out from Crocker. Just up the tempo.
And I feel like he's getting a lot of success when he is looking down to the body, Crocker, but he's not going down there enough. The target's right in front of you, but a lot of it's going, look, lead head to the head, lead hand to the head, lead hand to the head.
And you saw those scores flashing through at the foot of the screen there. All three of our panel have got Paddy Donovan ahead going into this 6th round, and we're now virtually at the halfway stage.
See, and there's a gap between them now, can you see it? And that's just, you know, he keeps coming in with his head there, Donovan. But that gap's allowing Donovan just to let his punches go a little bit more freely. Just needs a big shot here, Donovan. Crocker to get a bit of a second, a bit more confidence to push on.
I tell you what, I don't think there was many that thought Donovan would hold his ground as much as he is and pushing Crocker back. This is good signs for Paddy Donovan.
Crocker breaking concentration to complain at the ref and was nearly made to pay because of it. He was just complaining about the heads and the elbows, and I tend to agree with him. I do think Donovan's getting away with a lot.
That was a forearm, though, it really was.
Well, he can't say he wasn't warned, and they're furious in the Paddy Donovan corner. Crocker turning, looking for help from the referee a few moments ago. And now Marcus McDonald taking a point from Donovan. How important will that point deduction be if this goes all the way? Who knows?
And he's got to be really careful, Donovan, because he's the one that he's usually taking the little adjustment backward step. When he's then coming in over his front foot with his head, it looks like he's the aggressor of the fouling.
Crocker's already there, he's set, isn't he?
He's there all the time, he's staying there. He's not moving when he comes in with his head either. Probably why the head clashes have gone the way that they have.
But again, I think it'll help Donovan. Can he get cleaner shots? He'll better look at the target, and he'll be able to get more range in his punches.
And when Crocker turns towards us, we'll see that that left eye is beginning to close. It's becoming ever more troublesome.
And he's looking very physically strong, Donovan. Pushing Crocker back now.
Happy to trade against Crocker. Closing seconds. of the elbow there from Paddy Donovan. And that's the complaint from Lewis Crocker.
Oh, yeah,
that's a shot that Crocker has had success with. On that occasion, the referee allowed them to continue, but then finally decided to take a point away from Paddy Donovan.
Second set, round 7.
So we move into the second half of the contest. And Paddy Donovan with a point deducted, but at times looking so confident, so buoyant, with a real spring in his step.
I was just watching the feet there, and you see how just the way Donovan just took that front foot and took it right behind the foot there of Crocker. Just gone on the outside.
Well, if you think you're in Donovan's corner right now, you're being really wary of what he's putting in his head. And the easiest way, like you were saying earlier, Barry, is get the range, stay and fight in more of your territory rather than keep getting close and sitting in the pocket with
it. It forces him to be more disciplined, and ultimately it gives him a better opportunity to land on the target cleaner, and also to make Crocker miss and overreach all the things you wanted him to do in the first place.
And this is where he needs to vary the defence coming forward, Crocker. He's just far too predictable. His hands are high, he's taking a lot in the gloves, but he needs to slip and slide and roll and come back with counters. I think he needs to increase the tempo as well. Don't worry about landing just one heavy shot. Let's try and vary attacks, freeze and falls, go again. You can finish with a heavy shot at the end of a combination.
That's right there from Crocker. And as these rounds go off, and more of them have been in Donovan's favour. Oh, another clash of the heads.
Crocker reels away, and the referee is asking for a timeout. And the crowd, all on the side of Crocker, they believe that Donovan is the offender here.
And a very stern telling off from the referee there for Paddy Donovan.
So an element of controversy now feeding into this contest. Halfway stage of round 7.
That's better from Donovan. Rather than bring the head and use that lead hand to screw forward.
But the problem is when he does that, his head follows the hand.
Good hand speed.
And good footwork to swivel and put himself in that position, having made Crocker miss.
Looping left to the body from Donovan.
Oh, good uppercut there from Crocker, lovely shot.
He needs to double up that left hook as well. He landed with that second shot. Throw it again, you're there.
Heads.
So he's got him there now. And low though, Crocker. He walked him down. I know he's trying to set you up. Beautiful.
Better work there from Paddy Donovan.
Beautiful work.
Into the last half a minute of round 7, and Paddy Donovan has really found a groove here.
That's the perfect word for it, Mike. He really is in his groove here.
Blood reappearing on the left cheekbone of Crocker to add to his issues.
See that left hook over the top? No, it's you would call it Volcano, but it's there for Crocker. But he's just not the confidence to throw it at the minute.
I'm not sure if there isn't a swelling on the right side of the face of Crocker as well, around by the jawbone. Donovan with a little gesture, half a punch at the end of the round as they get to work again. Jamie Sheldon on that cut beneath the left eye.
And you can see over and over again the heads coming together. I really don't think, as well as Paddy Donovan has been boxing, I think he has to be a lot more conscious now in these next few rounds, because he could really start chipping into his lead, and he doesn't need to do that, well, you'd think.
Intentionally or unintentionally, it's usually him causing the act, so that, you know.
And I think even if it's not intentional, I think he's doing it so often that he's definitely at fault.
Oh no, I think he's a foul from
Corners, 10 seconds.
Crocker's already set in that position. You know, his head's down, and it's Donovan coming into him. But still, when he didn't do that, he boxed
Second
beautifully.
sight, right it.
So the repair work done on the left cheekbone of Lewis Crocker as we head now into round 8. This 12 rounds eliminator for the IBF welterweight title. And who knows, with the movements of Jaron Ennis, this could well lead to a shot at the vacant title at some stage in the near future.
You've got to give Crocker his credit though. He had a cut early on his right eye, a cut underneath his eye very early on the left, a swelling on his cheek and it looks as well, and he's still pushed forward. He's still trying to make a dent here on Paddy Donovan, who's boxing absolutely superb.
And who would have thought that? The power shots thrown more from Paddy Donovan in this fight so far.
But that was something that Andy Lee was saying in the build-up, that this is not just about Crocker the power puncher. Paddy's got power too, and Crocker's got boxing ability too.
That was good from Crocker there, got Paddy through it, but did the right thing. He pivoted off, and then Crocker jumped on him before he escaped fully.
And you can see the difference of effort in the punches from Crocker there. And I think as each round starts getting longer and keep creeping on, he's going to have to start taking the safety off and really start trying to hurt Paddy Donovan.
But then you expose yourself. I think that's his worry at the minute.
It's just been a little one-dimensional from Crocker. He needs to change up the attacks here.
But I don't know, I think the way he's standing so quite static in front of Paddy, apart from he's constantly flowing and ebbing and pushing out little shots, I think that's where all the danger is, when you're standing and just trying to close the gap and stay as close to possible. That was a better shot there from Crocker.
That's the shot he needs, that left hook. I wouldn't mind to see him double up with that left hook.
3 shots landed from Crocker in that exchange, but Donovan continues to back himself at close range.
Just squaring up a little bit here for me. Too much Crocker. He gives him too much target away when he does it. And he's always looking for the big heavy left hook when he squares his feet.
It's worth mentioning though that Donovan hasn't been affected at all with any power shots.
Again, Crocker backs away. And this is a danger zone for Paddy Donovan. One more point deducted from Donovan. He's got to be so careful. In danger of throwing this away.
And you can see the state of Crocker's face, and you can see the cuts and the swellings getting worse and worse and each time these elbows and heads are coming together.
In danger of butting this away. 40 seconds to go in round 8.
He has to stop following the hands when he pushes Crocker off. The head just follows the hands. And you've mentioned the head's already there from Crocker. He's just falling every single time onto that forehead, the eyes of Crocker.
Lovely work. Oh! He takes a good shot, doesn't he, Donovan?
He takes a good shot.
Response from Donovan. The second point deducted. He goes on the attack. And Crocker is a beleaguered opponent at this stage.
You can't see.
Last few seconds of the round. Swinging for glory. Fighting right to the last is Lewis Crocker. Donovan goes on the attack. Continues punching. That's really well. Crocker down again. How will the referee rule this now? They're celebrating in the Donovan corner. But what will Marcus McDonald rule about this? Clearly a punch thrown after the bell. He's telling Donovan just that.
Disqualified!
He has disqualified Paddy Donovan. Controversy here. I think that Donovan can't believe that they've won it. Now suddenly there's realisation. Fury in the corner. They were convinced that they won it. Marcus McDonald deciding in the end, after 2 deductions for use of the head, then takes one away for punching after the bell. Andy Lee remonstrating. Donovan absolutely distraught.
You can see the sheer anguish, the pain in Donovan right now, and it's really, really sad to see, especially after he's performing so well. But we was talking about it the whole way through, the elbows, the heads, and it was like he was the one that was initiating a lot of the fouls, and that to me was a late shot. But if it was isolated, I don't think he's getting disqualified. I think Crocker's giving time. He'd already had 2 warnings and he was on his last one.
Devil's advocate, did he not hear the bell?
I heard the bell.
Cauldron. We've got sound effects microphones, the boxers have them.
But the problem is, if the referee's heard the bell, he has to call it. He has to call it.
That there is a picture of despair. And that's after, for a fleeting moment, he thought he'd done enough. He thought that he'd produced what he said he would on the biggest night of his life, only to be told he was being thrown out.
Look, he's absolutely devastated, and rightly so. He was boxing really, really well. Yes, the heads did come together. Yes, there was a shot after the bell, but you're right, Mike, it is so loud in here. Let's see now, look. Both exchanging shots. This is after Crocker went down.
That was very late.
It's way
really
late. Very, very late.
Really, really late.
Clearly heard the sound of the bell.
And whether he hears it or not, and I hope he didn't. I hope he did, actually, because if he didn't, I feel gutted for the kid. But either way, like, the referee hears it and it is after the bell, you've got to call it as a disqualification.
He's heading back. He throws his shot and starts heading back straight away. He heard that bell 100%. There's no way that shot came out of his shoulder and he did not hear the bell. He was turning after he threw it.
If the punch was on his way on the arc, then you can understand. But it wasn't. He heard the bell and still went for it.
But what a fight, and one that we need to see again, in my opinion.
Has to happen again.
And imagine the build-up to the rematch with all of this controversy.
And look at the eye, look at the damage that was getting done over those rounds from Crocker. And I didn't see the punches that it was supposedly causing him. I didn't see them.
I think that's to do with when he has the gloves around his face, the inside of the glove, when you're punching the glove, the inside of your hand is almost making that damage for you. I said the way Crocker was swinging blind at the start of that round was fantastic. But it was also, you just thought, once Donovan clicks him on the chin, he's done, because he's literally throwing blinds.
Yeah, he was moving the feet well, wasn't he?
Look at this, he's just
the courage, the heart to try and land something big from Crocker was so
and it was on the blinded side as well.
I would say something though, Crocker wasn't walking, Crocker didn't hear the bell, I don't think either, because Crocker wasn't like unaware, he was trying to defend himself, but it was after the bell. You can't argue or dispute that.
And this is the dramatic moment as Marcus McDonald breaks the news, and initially Donovan, well, he looks confused there, but goes away to celebrate before being told that he's been thrown out. Well, of all the endings, of all the predictions, this is one that no one was prepared to offer. And really, it just sets the stage for the rematch. But Crocker, rightly, has his shot at the IBF title. So he will want to go his way.
What I will say, if this fight happens again, and it should happen again, ironically, I feel Paddy Donovan will go into the fight with a lot more confidence. He boxed really well, he hurt Crocker. He needs to tidy up with a lot of the foul play that I don't think was intentional, but nonetheless, he was leading with the head and it did happen.
It was just more, he was just trying to flow in his work, but if he was holding his hand out, if he was coming in with his head, if he was putting in his elbow, he didn't really care. That and over the rounds, he was on his final warning on the third, fourth round.
And I think that he thought, because Crocker's so physically strong, he thought that he had to show Crocker, I'm as strong as you, I'm as heavy-handed as you, and you can't bully me, and he sort of did that at times.
Well, you may have heard only boos there, but I looked around as we were looking at Paddy Donovan being held aloft there, and there was a lot of applause as well. He played his part in a fight that was really developing.
Still
on there from Eddie Hearn, it was a late shot, but coming up next month, Saturday, April the 12th, the man who holds this IBF title, but tonight they were fighting in an eliminator 4. It's a unification showdown between Darren Ennis and Imantas Stanionis. WBA IBF welterweight titles at stake, Saturday, April the 12th. And still, Paddy Donovan trying to control the emotions. There have been tears aplenty since he was disqualified summarily by referee Marcus McDonnell after 2 warnings for use of the head. Didn't get warned for that use of the elbow that we saw on those slow motion replays, and then thrown out for punching after the bell. So a heady night here in Belfast. Another story to tell about a Belfast fight night. A very different story to tell. Not the one that we were expecting. But in this game, you never know.
Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of round number 8, referee Howard Foster disqualifies Paddy Donovan for a hit after the bell, declaring your winner by disqualification. He's still undefeated from Belfast, Lewis the Crocker.
Well, the crowd here have got what they wanted in terms of the winner, Lewis Crocker, who was serenaded in a raucous fashion on the way to the ring. But this isn't the way that many expected it, many would have wanted it to finish. And surely we've got to see this again. But for now, it's Lewis Crocker who walks away with the spoils. This man walks away with the tears.
Okay, loads to unpack there. The first thing, just to correct David Diamante, it wasn't Howard Foster in the ring, it's Marcus McDonnell in the ring. Marcus McDonnell was the one that disqualified Paddy Donovan. I mean, there's loads to get to here. We are going to hear from both fighters. I can see Jamie Ward in the ring, just in front of us. Correct decision or not to disqualify Paddy Donovan very quickly first?
No, so straight away, Marcus McDonnell, when he hears that clacker go, the boys in an exchange, there's 10 seconds to go. When the fight's in exchange, the referee has to be so close, and he's not close enough. It's basically a fighter wanting to get the last word, and it's half a second that he throws the punch and it lands after the bell.
But it is late, Tony.
I agree, it is at the end. The punch lands after the bell, but to disqualify someone with that, you'd be getting someone disqualified every fight. If that was the case, you can't just throw it in. He acted harshly, and I feel for the head clashes from the very get-go, they were both at it.
That's what it appeared to be as well. Look, more reaction from Tony Betty. Jamie Ward is going to try and make sense of this for both fighters in the ring. Jamie.
Okay, let's try and grab a word with both guys in the ring here. Lewis, we'll come to you first. You're still undefeated, not the way I'm sure that you wanted the fight to end tonight. Can you try and put into words what's going through your mind right now in this ring?
Look, that's not the way I want to win a fight, anybody. But I heard the bell, and I can't see because I'm getting hit with the head all night and that. I dropped my hands, and that's what caused the knockdown. But I just want to say, everyone in Belfast, thank you so much for all the love. Our plan was to work in the second half of the fight, and you know, as I say, like I can't see from this eye, I was repeatedly hit with the head, and I got hit with an elbow one stage that wasn't caught, but that's not the way I want to win a fight, you know. But I heard the bell, I dropped my hands, and because I couldn't see from the headbutts previous, and then I got a punch came out of nowhere after the bell. But again, Belfast, my heart is full of love for all you, so it is like proper. Thank you everyone for coming out. The support, thank you, it means a lot.
How did you assess the challenge of this man, Paddy Donovan, and your own performance up until what happened?
look, it was turning into a great fight. I always say Paddy was a great fighter. It's unfortunate that the fight ended like that. As I say, obviously I didn't want the fight to end like that, and certainly Paddy didn't either. And we're hoping to work on the second part of the fight and come into it. But it's just a shame the way it happened. But as I say, I heard the bell, I dropped my hands, I couldn't see. So
it will be one ultimately for Eddie Hearn and I guess the IBF to decide as well. But if it was up to you, do you think we could see that again?
Look, it's too early to say right now. Do you know what I mean? There's too much going through my head right now. So I'll leave that with Eddie. But again, Belfast, thank you for all the love. Yous are like one of a kind.
Let's bring in Paddy Donovan. Paddy, I just asked the same thing to Lewis. Just take a breath and take a moment. Can you tell us what's going through your mind right now? Certainly not the way you wanted this fight to end.
Listen to the crowd can tell you. I won the fight, I was winning every single round. I dropped Lewis, I beat him up, and I was getting a knockout. The crowd is ferocious in here. They said I hit him after a bell, but I thought I hit him on the bell. You can see Lewis was a beaten man, and I won the fight fair and square. And the ref took my dreams away tonight.
What is your version of events, Paddy, of what happened right at the end there?
Look, you can see, I don't have to speak. All the viewers know exactly what happened. I won the fight, I won every round, and I knocked Lewis Crocker out. I said I was going to come to Belfast, and I did exactly that. I knocked him out, and I should have got the fight. We're going to repeal the decision, and we want an automatic rematch right on the spot.
Let's bring in former world champion trainer Andy Lee. Andy, your verdict, what did you make of the drama there?
I thought it was a fantastic fight. Both boys did really well, but Paddy was just a class above, as we said in the build-up. It's drama, isn't it? It's a big drama show. I thought, listen, they both were going in with the heads. The cuts were caused by punches. The referee ruled that. It's disappointing for this man, but it's not even a bump in the road. It's not even as people saw what happened. He boxed unbelievably. I'm so proud of him. And there's bigger things for him. You know, there's bigger things for him. He's going to be world champion one of these days. Thank you, Belfast. Thank you for the support for Paddy. Thank you for the support for Team Lee, and we'll see you soon.
Have you got a message you want to leave as well in this ring, Paddy, tonight?
Sorry,
have you got a message you want to leave in this ring tonight?
Yeah, thanks to all the fans that came. They travelled all around Ireland. I love you all. And I'll be back. I want the rematch. I want the IBF to overrule this decision and give me an automatic rematch, and I'll fight Lewis, and I'll beat him again.
Okay, Paddy, keep your chin up, my friend. Let's bring in promoter Eddie Hearn. Andy Lee, thanks to you as well. Well, Eddie, the atmosphere, incredible, the ending to the fight, as I keep saying, not what was expected, not what was wanted. What's going through your mind?
No, you never want a fight to finish like that. You know, the fight was a good fight. Paddy Donovan was controlling the fight. The points were making it interesting. You know, you really feel like Crocker had to force the fight for the last few rounds, and Paddy was sensational. The shot was after the bell. Did it warrant an instant disqualification? Are you tallying up the headbutts as well during the fight? You know, for me, I've got to be honest with you, I want to see it again. You know, I think Lewis Crocker's in a position now, he's mandatory for the world title. I'm sure those guys will appeal to the IBF. Lewis Crocker doesn't have to do anything. He can sit there for a shot at the world title, but the reality is there's going to be a lot of people wanting to see this fight again. There's going to be a lot of people with mixed opinions about what happened in the fight, the disqualification, what might have happened in the last few rounds. We know what controversy does. It builds into massive fights, massive rematches. The rematch of this fight is huge, but will Crocker want it? What will the IBF say? We'll have to see what happens over the next couple of weeks. Honestly, as a promoter for both, I want to see the fight again, and I want to see it play out.
Is that what you will say to them? Like you say, you represent both fighters.
Lewis Crocker is now mandatory for the world title. So he's in a position to sit there and fight for the world title. It may be in 5 months, it may not be till the end of the year, so maybe he'll fight in the middle. You know, Andy said to me, obviously there's a procedure with the IBF, you lodge an appeal to see if they order the fight again. That's something different as well, but, you know, it's difficult in this noise with everything going on. You can land a bell, you can't hear the bell, but Paddy Donovan probably made a mistake tonight that could have cost him a shot at the world title, because I thought he boxed superbly well. And the atmosphere in here was incredible. And I wanted to see those last few rounds. But listen, if both boys want to do it again, maybe we'll go outside in the summer and have a big, big fight back in Belfast. But for now, Lewis Crocker wins the fight. We'll see what happens with the whole process moving forward. And maybe we get to see it again.
Okay, well, it would not be boxing, would it, without a little bit of drama. So much for the guys to discuss. Back to you.